Hey everyone, and welcome to the Defining Your Life podcast, where we focus on living in our purpose, practicing presence, and activating our power in each moment. I'm Marsharelle, your resident pep talk provider, and I invite you to join me as we continue to learn, lift each other up, and strive to level up together. Because we are never finished defining our lives, and it takes a village, so let's build one. Stay tuned for the episode. Hey everyone, I hope that all is well and that you had a wonderful week, that you were able to find some forgiveness in your heart, whether it was for yourself or for other people in your life. But just recognizing the importance of forgiveness and how freeing it is, how healing it is, and really a necessary component of any journey. So let's get in the habit of not only forgiving others, but forgiving ourselves and also being willing to apologize and ask for forgiveness, right? Let's make an effort not to stew in things or let stuff linger. Let's do better at communicating. If you're like me and you truly struggle in the vulnerability department or in having the hard conversations, I feel your pain. But I am learning that as scary or as painful as it might feel to put yourself out there, it's just as scary and painful not to share. Harboring feelings of resentment, stewing in stuff, just holding negative energy in general, even around that dark cloud that may hang around when you know that you should be asking for forgiveness, you know it doesn't serve you. This practice of apology and forgiveness is a muscle that needs to be worked. We know the goal is to just try to do right by folks and by ourselves the first time around, right? Without having to go back and solicit forgiveness. But at the end of the day, we're human. We're going to make those mistakes. We're going to need to ask for forgiveness. And we're going to need to give forgiveness, right? It's part of life. It's part of growth. It's one of the keys to peace. Anyway, this week I've been in somewhat of a strange mood, unsettled, if you will. Not for any particular reason. I'm not sad or angry, but I'm not overjoyed either. It could really just be that it's time for vacation. I'm feeling like it's time, y'all. But whatever the case may be, I'm a little off. And so I had to remind myself of something that I know for sure about most things. Because when you're feeling a little off, even little things can make you feel kind of prickly. And so the thing that I had to remind myself of was, it's just not that deep. It's really not. Now, we all have areas of opportunity in our lives that warrant additional attention and care. Things that we should analyze, check over twice, meditate on, ponder. Maybe there's grief, other significant loss, or grand transitions that we're undergoing in our lives. You know the key areas in your life that matter and where you should be focusing your attention. But do you ever catch yourself giving something attention that doesn't really matter, doesn't impact you, or is so trivial that you have to ask yourself why you're even investing any time in it in the first place when you don't have to? The small things, like that riled up driver that honked their horn at you as soon as the light changed, does not matter. But your destination does. And if you spend time focused on how angry that driver made you, once you get to your destination, that anger probably won't dissipate right away. It's been unintentionally tucked inside, and you carry that negative energy longer than you need to. And we don't need any negativity compounding inside of us, right? It may seem like nothing at first, but it leads you down a road of negative thinking, assisting you in blowing out of proportion the things that really have no bearing in the greater picture you're painting for your life. Now that's deep. These things that seem trivial, not a big deal. We know they certainly aren't adding to our lives. In fact, we know for sure they're subtracting the energy we could be using to do something greater. We don't need to be out here making more space for distractions, allowing them to take up residency in our minds and on our tongues. So, what can we do to avoid falling into these traps, these complaint traps, these gossip traps, overanalyzing the little things that we find annoying traps? For starters, focus on the things that really are that deep in your life. Are we using our time to focus on those things, our relationships, our goals, improving our overall quality of life? Or are we too wrapped up in crap to realize that we are wasting the great resource that is time? Missed opportunities are certainly deep, right? Let's make sure that we are ready when the right ones come along. We do that by eliminating distraction. You know, they say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Well, if you're always wrapped up in some BS, the opportunities will most certainly always pass you by. And sometimes we're just too hard on ourselves, right? Picking apart every single thing that we do, picking apart every bit of ourselves that we see in the mirror. Stopping, though, at what's superficial only because that's what other folks see physically. And we only allow them to see us mentally on a superficial level as well. But you find yourself making a mountain out of a molehill by creating things to worry about, agonize over, complain about, when you haven't even skimmed the surface. What's deep about the surface, y'all? These are the distractions that are meant to keep your eye off the prize. But don't give in. Focus on the good in you, because that's what's deep. And that transference of great energy yields a great impact. So flip the script, look beyond that superficial to love on the deeper parts of you. When you find yourself in a thought pattern or a situation where you are feeling a tugging, something letting you know that maybe what's happening in this current moment is simply just a distraction, ask yourself the following. Tomorrow, will this even matter? If the answer is no, you definitely know it's not that deep. Well, what is the impact of what is happening here? Will it change anything? If you can't identify anything, it's not that deep. Will I have true regret not saying, doing, or seeing this? If the answer is no, it's not that deep. So that's the message for today. I actually feel like I was a little bit all over the place, but hey, I told y'all I was in a weird space this week. So I hope you're not surprised, and I hope you found a gem or two in it anyway. But I'd like to leave you with a few words from Dr. Mae Jemison. Laugh at yourself. It's not that deep. And if you fall, make a big splash. Thanks so much for listening today. If you have been enjoying what you've been hearing, don't forget to rate, review, share, and subscribe. I can't wait to chat with you all again next week. Take care until then.